It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollers.locals.com. What's going on? Happy Wednesday. I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1 video game internet podcast on God's green earth. It's Side Scrollers. Hello, everybody. Glad you're here. Hello, Blabs. How are you?
Hi! I just want to point out that, I can see you backstage.
Yeah, you see me picking my teeth before we went
Yeah.
live?
Yeah.
I about 5 minutes, about 10 minutes before, I was eating some, one of those, pre-made Factor meals. I did the Factor thing. You know what Factor is? They do, meals and stuff. And I was like, it's a spinach. I caught in my tooth. It was the worst. And while I was doing it, I was like, I'm pretty sure Blabs can see what I'm doing right now. But
Yeah, he's just like, I'm like, bruh.
Oh, so, man, what do you want? What do you want me to do?
You
want
could
me to
have just
smile?
turned off the camera, Do you not have any
Nobody else can see me but you, Blabs.
I guess I don't count. Manners
Absolutely
maketh
not.
man. Colin Firth said that.
What's that?
Colin Firth said it. Manners maketh man.
Yeah, absolutely. What manners do I need to have when you're just sitting down? You're doing nothing in the back. Okay, hold on. Let me do it again. Hold on. Here I am. I'm cleaning my teeth right now. Everybody, there we go. Better.
Lovely. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Ridiculous. All right. It's not ridiculous. Our guest today, first time on the show. Very excited to have for the first time in the shades, the Critical Drinker. What's up, Drinker? How are you, buddy?
I want to say, first of all, that's a blatant lie. I'm patently ridiculous, but thank you for welcoming me on anyway. It's a pleasure to be here.
The glass is on today. I love it. I'm glad we get to bring our glasses back on, which is good.
Yeah, you got some killer aviators there, man. I'm jealous.
Appreciate
it. I love your green tinted ones as well. They are beautiful.
Thank you. I think they glow in the dark, but I'm not positive.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go.
I know.
Anyway.
$9.99 Walmart's where I got mine. Killer, but I'll tell you what, didn't pay a whole lot, which is great. Love everything about that. I'll tell you what, I think the glasses industry may be the biggest fraud of all the industries out there. There's a lot of fraud industries, but I just feel like really all you're doing, you get some really high quality glasses for $4 at CVS or at your drugstore, or you can get your $400 pair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but they all
you pay all that extra money for that tiny little Ray-Ban symbol. But yeah, if you go to the right sort of Chinese market, you can get it pretty cheap. I'm just saying.
Have you dug into the Meta Facebook ones that take pictures? Have you seen those?
No, I don't trust Facebook with anything that I do, and it's generally for old people and weirdos, so I don't use it anymore.
when it's up, and like yesterday, we had the issues yesterday with it, with all the servers going down. But that's pretty nuts. Well, we're glad you're here. We obviously have you're like the #1 video, you're the #1 movie reviewer on Earth right now. Congratulations!
Oh, Craig, you're just too much.
Pretty awesome. I'm just saying, it's pretty damn cool.
It's all because I bought you a beer in Orlando. Honestly, what's the world coming to?
I told this story. I was like, well, the first time I met Drinker, literally the first thing he said was, "Let's go to the bar," and I was like, oh, so it's not just a bit, all right.
Yeah. Well, traveling for 26 hours is going to do that to you. You just want to get to a bar, get a beer, and relax a little bit. So, yeah, thank you for indulging me. I appreciate that.
It was great, man. I actually had a really good drink while we were there. I thought that was I don't drink very often, and in the course of a couple hours, I had a couple, so I was kind of get the tingly feeling going on after a while, So it was good. It was fun. I liked it. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, man, we're glad you're here. I want to remind everybody we are live over at rumble.com/sidestrollers. Do us a favor, hit the follow button over there as well. You also could have found out that Drinker was going to be on the show today if you followed us over on X. So do us a favor, head over there, X youtube.com/sidescrollerpod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do. You should follow us over there for memes and videos from the show, or else nothing.
Or
really.
else.
I'll just be upset with you. That's all. I'll give
Do
you a
it.
stern glare.
Do it, or Babs will get you.
Yeah.
Ooh, good. We also have a Kick account where you can follow us if you want to. If you want to support us with the 95.5 rev share, you can do that over there, which is great. Also, a Spotify version of the show. If you don't want to look at our faces, you can listen to us every single day. Blabs uploads the audio version of the show. Find us over there. But the place I want you to go right now is over to sidescrollers.locals.com. We just launched that little group over there, and we're posting little things, little by little, over there that you can't find over on YouTube, things that we can't post over there. We're going to be doing more of that probably once a week. So do us a favor. Head over to sidescrollers.locals.com. If 10 of you could head over there today, that would be outstanding. If you are new to the channel over here on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, join the 68,200 common sense lovers of the video game space. And let's hit our 2 goals today: 500 likes and 25 memberships. Now, look, we got a lot going on, and I need to let you guys know the brand new High Life shirts are available right now, and they're selling incredibly quick. So head on the description is you can find the link in the description below. They are moving very, very quick. We sold a couple this morning already. We weren't even live. So link is down there. The High Life shirt is available. That is a reference to Beer Drinker. Do you get that logo?
I do, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Would you like a shirt?
Send it to me right now.
One shirt less. Also, coming up this weekend, I need everybody to be here on Saturday, as we're going to have one piece of content going up this weekend as we're getting back to our interviews, as the interview with WWE, former WWE superstar Maven, the guy who won Tough Enough back in the day. Have an interview with him. So that's going to be going up on Saturday. So looking forward to that. And one other thing that I think it's time we definitely start promoting before we get into the show today is next week, Blabs. Are you ready?
No.
Next week, I'll be gone, which means it's Blabs week all next week, as Blabs will be up hosting the show all by herself, and I'll be staring from afar going, please don't ruin it. But she won't. And
Thanks,
I know you.
man. Thanks for the confidence.
You're going to do great. You're going to do great. It's going to be good. So make sure you guys are here all next week and support Blabs, which will be good.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Before we get going, Initial C came in with the $5 super chat. Says, Drinker, I don't even know if you resplendent raconteur, your writing advice video really lit a fire under me, and I say thank you for that. I don't even know what that means. What is a resplendent raconteur?
Well, if you're resplendent, then you are well kitted out for the occasion. And if you're a raconteur, then you are a person who is superb at telling stories, which is definitely not me. But, thank you for the compliment. Anyway, I appreciate it. And yeah, I wanted to make that video for a long time. I'm glad I finally got around to doing it. And it was just a few little thoughts, I guess, about my approach to writing novels and trying to find the time to do it, because gosh darn it, writing a book is quite a time-consuming process, and you need to carve that time out of your day. And so I tried to give what little advice I could, and hopefully it's useful to people. So yeah, if it helped you, all more to the good. Thank you.
Mo says, that's no way to act in front of an international sex symbol, Craig.
That's no way to talk about Blabs. Come on now.
Let's not.
Ian came in with 10 gifted memberships. That is spectacular. Ian, thank you very much.
Say it, Craig.
What?
It will.
Ooh.
It's Ian. You have to do it.
Ooh.
Right.
Drinker, as our guest, you get to decide what color goes on the wall. We have all these wonderful colors, and you get to pick who gets go.
All right.
So green, orange, yellow, purple, blue, red.
Red, because it's the color of my hoodie.
There you go. Love it. Okay, so Ian, you're going to go on the wall in just a second. The worthy one. Labs, if you can read that off for me while I...
Yeah, the worthy one for $5. Drinker's correct about Facebook. A lot of nerd spaces on Facebook. Can't stand them. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
It's Facebook. It's for like my grandparents' generation to post pictures of their dinner, which looks really sad and uninspiring, but they think it's fascinating. You know, that's the crowd for Facebook. So
right.
Yeah, wouldn't put too much stock in it.
Thing. Marketplace and like those groups where you can sell and buy stuff in it. That's the only good stuff. And Messenger.
Labs, you're an old soul. You're an old soul.
Yes, I'm like 95 years old. Okay, it's fine.
Right.
Clemson has become a member for 8 months. May the Lord watch over all of us during Bluffs Week.
Yes.
Thanks, Clemson. Retro Nerd Bro. Please ask Big Will what his favorite Resident Evil game is and why is it RE4? He loves Salazar. I know.
It's not Resident Evil 4. I'm really
Uh-oh.
sorry. It probably is going to be a remake of Resident Evil 1, which I just think is the perfect remake. They got the perfect balance of upgraded graphics, high definition backgrounds, redone voice acting, but you're still just creeping around a spooky mansion filled with lots of things that want to eat your face. That or Resident Evil 2. Both of those games were fantastic. So they would be my top Resident Evil picks. And if you don't agree with me, then you're not a true Resident Evil connoisseur, sir.
Let him know. Let him know.
Big words. All right. Wolfsbane says, don't know if you know this, but the sister of Alec Holowaka, I think, is the CEO of SBI and is friends with Zoe Quinn. She may have sold her out her bro for money and power. Ugh.
Yeah, that's kind of coming to fruition, all that information about the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. And we'll get into that in a little bit more, because there's said today it's all about the awakening that's happening on the internet for sure.
Josh for $4.99. Yo, dudes, drinker. I possibly have your least favorite job. I manage inventory for an alcohol distributor. I swear it all day, but can't drink.
Well, then clearly, sir, you don't know about the angel share, which is the percentage of alcohol that evaporates naturally during the fermentation process. So you can steal that quite happily, and no one will know.
Wow.
Someone told me that. It's not because I know from experience or anything.
No, he hasn't been siphoning off like the alcohol.
Yeah.
No.
All I know is Diageo is solely going out of business because of me. Anyway, carrying on.
Stevie says, could you ask Will about Dungeon Crawler, please?
It's amazing the number of people that still ask me about that to this day. I thought it was just a little side project. It was something that people approached me about years ago, just like not long after my YouTube channel took off. They said, could you do like a voiceover gig for this, audiobook that we're doing called Dungeon Crawler Carl? And I said, cool, yeah, sure. It sounds like fun. So I did it and recorded my bit, and off it went. And to this day, people still ask me about it, or they discovered my channel through that. So great. It's great to see that it did so well.
That's very cool. Very cool. I love that. Dude over on Rumble says, drinker, get your ass over to Rumble. If you get a copyright strike on PoopTube, you can keep the unedited version on Rumble. Can always get away with more over here.
I know you can mirror your content, can't you, between these different services? So upload it to YouTube, upload it to Rumble, easy peasy. I just never got around to it because I'm lazy, and I'm sorry
not
about
anymore.
that.
Not anymore. You can't do that to Rumble. They actually cut Rumble off of the mirroring thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, YouTube went out of their way to cut Rumble off specifically. It's dirty, man. They're playing very dirty.
What's the sort of ratio? So I don't know, say you had 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, what would you have on Rumble?
It really depends. They're really pushing live over on Rumble, and that's one of the biggest things is promotion that you receive from Rumble. I think if if I was to send a DM to somebody or an email and I was like, hey, drinker's thinking about coming over, they would roll out the red carpet for you, and I would say it's certainly not the size of YouTube, but I think that you could probably cross 100,000 pretty quickly. I think that'd be pretty good for sure. Green Ranger fan came in with a $10 direct donation. Says, been a fan of Screw Attack and K-Wing since 2009. Do you know him, Craig? So how do you feel about K-Wing streams getting hacked? Do you think it's due to comments he made on Sweet Baby Inc. he made? Yeah, actually K-Wing DM'd me about that. So there's a guy on YouTube. I don't know how this works, but he made some sort of comment. He says he made a comment about Sweet Baby Inc. on X, and he DMs me about his streams getting hacked, with DDoS attacks. I don't quite understand how that works, considering, but I don't know.
Yeah, how do you DDoS a live stream? Surely that would be good.
Yeah.
Oh no, more people are flooding to my live stream. What a nightmare.
Well, right, and specifically, what he says happens is his viewership gets cut in half, right? But how do you attack just one channel on YouTube? That's the thing I don't quite understand. If you're going to DDoS something, you're going to attack the entire platform instead of a specific channel. So I don't quite understand the whole thing. So Abdulio came in and says, thank you, Critical Drinker. The remakes of 2 and 3 and 4 don't stand up to the originals. They are pretty bad and shallow and fail as remakes by removing so much from all 3 games, unlike the RE1 remake, which kept everything and expanded on it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the Resident Evil 2 remake. I think for the most part, it's generally good. The B scenarios are where it really falls down, because in the original game, you got like an entirely different story, or at least the other half of the story with the B scenario. With this one, it just makes you play the same thing again, including the same boss encounters, which makes absolutely zero sense. So it just feels like low effort in comparison. And it's weird because Resident Evil 3, the remake, I totally see the limitations of it. I see how short it is, and it definitely should have just been DLC for Resident Evil 2 remake. But I still kind of weirdly enjoy it. I don't know. It's just like a fun little playthrough. And I've live streamed myself playing it, and I had kind of a lot of fun doing it. So it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, I still recognize it's not really a patch on the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Is RE your favorite series?
Yes, I'm obsessed with that more than any sensible man should be.
It's funny because I think in most gaming franchises, there's 1 or 2 entries, could be more, of games that aren't necessarily great, but you still enjoy. And I think that we've lost that in society to where everything has to be a fucking masterpiece. Whereas that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it's okay to enjoy shit,
I think as well, yeah, because I came from that very different generation of gamers because I'm so old now. It's like back in the PlayStation 1 days, you were just like thankful for any game that you got to play. It's like as long as it runs on your PlayStation, yeah, you're pretty happy. And Resident Evil, really good back in the day. And so it was still rare then to get sequels and spin-offs and stuff. Like now it happens all the time, but back then you really appreciated it. And I suppose that's just carried over into my appreciation of the series in the current day. But yeah, that and Tomb Raider. I just recently have been streaming playing the Tomb Raider remaster for 1, 2, and 3, and it's great. Like it really perfectly captures the spirit of the original games. The control scheme and everything is all the same. It's just they've upgraded the graphics and it looks awesome. Really liked it. It was a great little trip down memory lane.
I think for a lot of people who have played the remasters of Tomb Raider, if you grew up with it, you love it. If you didn't, then you probably don't get it. And that's kind of, that's one of the things that you see. I know Melanie. You had to have lived during that period, and you had to have like gone from like the Super Nintendo days of like Mario World and stuff to suddenly playing as Lara Croft and battling your way through tombs and stuff. Like that was just a world of difference, and you'll never get that same feeling of holy shit, video games have changed forever. Dude,
that period was just an awesome time to be a gamer.
Yes, the mid 90s into the early 2000s were just like I always say it was like video game puberty, right? Where you go, you have these weird polygonal like things, and you're like, whoa, it's 3D, everything's changing, and you look back at it now, you're like, wow, that really looks like shit.
But back then it was different, yeah. Like in my time at high school, we went from like the 16-bit era to like the PlayStation 2. In that like 6 years of high school, like that's how much the entire landscape of gaming changed in such a short period. Like we've never seen such a rapid advance, and we probably never will again.
No, we'll never will. I mean, you look at the jump from like the PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. Like the jump from PlayStation 3 to 5 is not. It's not Super Nintendo to N64.
No. Like you can see the difference, obviously, but like it's not like, oh my god, this looks terrible by today's standards. Like I played Metro Last Light, which was like a PlayStation 3 game. I just got like a secondhand copy and played that. And even then, I was playing it thinking, this actually looks okay. It's not terrible, And that's from 15 years ago. Like that's the level of technology we're talking about. Like it's pretty cool.
The biggest thing with those games is they look they obviously look better today, but the biggest thing is you'll see like quality of life improvements, maybe the way a character controlled. I think of a game like on the PlayStation 3, there's a game called Resistance Fall of Man. And,
I remember that.
Right. And if you go back and play that now, you're like, what am I doing with my controller? You like, it doesn't feel like a modern day FPS. And that's probably one of the biggest things if they were to remake that, which would be interesting to do, to remake Resistance Fall of Man. which I don't think they will, but they just update it with quality of life stuff for sure. So
I like this comment from Carrie D in the chat as well. No, y'all, Atari to SNES was the holy shit change for me. What, did you just skip the whole NES era or what? I don't know.
No, man, I hear you, man. The Super Nintendo for me, that's the GOAT. That 100% the GOAT. And followed by like Xbox 360, PlayStation 4. I was a big PlayStation 4 guy. I like PlayStation 4 a lot. I actually haven't even bought a PlayStation 5 yet. So, hey, Kratos El Gratos came in with a $69 direct donation. Blabs says, I only 69 for critical drinkers RRR video. Thanks for making me aware of it. RRR is now one of my favorite movies. RRR, what is RRR?
It's an Indian, like, I was going to say it's a Bollywood movie. It's not. Apparently, it's a Tollywood movie, but it's like an action historical epic about two guys who join forces to fight the British invasion of India.
Am I saying it right? RRR?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, because I always say triple R because I can never bring myself to be like R, 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 like a pirate, you know?
Okay. It says triple R is now one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it at least a dozen times since I love showing it to my friends and family. Orlando was fun. Thanks, Kratos. Appreciate that. And Kratos also picked up a brand new High Life t-shirt. Let's go. Says, go get it. Let's go. Thank you so much, Kratos. Appreciate that. Pick that up. Link down in the description. That's great stuff. Vimerin says, Drinker, help me out here. How can we convince Craig to watch extended Lord of the Ring trilogy? This poor heathen still has not seen the movies. I have not seen Lord of the Ring.
Right, he hasn't. Not even the extended, not even the original. Nothing.
So you haven't seen the theatrical cut. You haven't seen anything.
I've seen 0 seconds of it.
Like how?
Yeah, I mean, like you're talking about probably one of the greatest cinematic achievements in the history of movies.
No, don't oversell it.
I mean, unless you like straight up hate fantasy and you can't stand any of that stuff, like I would. Awesome. What's that?
That sounds awesome. I love fantasy stories.
Yeah, well, just make the time and watch it. It's obviously it's a lot of content to get through. If you're watching the extended cuts, you're probably talking like 10, 11, 12 hours, but it's incredible. Like the attention to detail, the love and care that went into it, the acting, the visuals, the storytelling, it's perfect. It's pretty much perfect. It's the perfect trilogy. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, Craig, you fly every once in a while. Why don't you just pop it on in the plane? You have no excuse.
Every once in a while I do occasionally.
But you just
don't watch it on a 12-inch screen on a plane though. Like,
well,
do it at
if
home.
that's the only time you can get around to watching it, I mean, that's you're gonna have to get the best you can get.
I mean, needs must, like any port in a storm, you know. But yeah, if you can try and watch it at home, if you've got like a decent home cinema set up, do it that way. You know, get the 4K edition.
Well, can we just shit on Craig? He's only seen the Star Wars movies like once anyway. So
that's all I need to see him. I just need to see him one time.
Not even the originals.
Hashtag cancel Craig. So
thank you.
Yeah.
he's not seen Harry Potter. Like, I don't know. Nope. He's just missing everything.
Well, listen. Okay, Drinker. Let me hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, shit, Craig.
If I don't see the first of something and then a second, third, and fourth come out of it, like it's hard to go back. For me personally, it's hard for me to go back and be like, all right, let me start over and invest 2, 3, 4 hours into kind of getting caught up before the new one comes out. Am I alone on that, or?
I think you might be a bit of a weirdo on that one. Yeah, like if it's just a movie, then yeah. Like if it's a TV show and you have to get through 20 hours of content, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But yeah, 3-hour movie? Come on, everyone can do that, surely.
He's not even seen all the Marvel movies. Like, I'm totally shredding you in front of people right now.
That's fine if you haven't seen all the Marvel movies.
Well, I mean, the 2014 era was okay. Now they're all crap, and I haven't watched them in a couple of years. But
yeah, so everything, you know, up until about 2019, I suppose it's worth watching. But beyond that, just forget it. Don't bother.
I saw up to the one where they all fight. The Marvel movie. What's it called?
You mean the Avengers?
Yeah, Civil War. Whatever is that? What it's called? Civil War, the one with Thanos where he snaps his fingers and they all die.
No, that's
that's
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War.
You Neanderthal.
Okay, I watched
You're,
that.
you're almost there, actually. If you just watched Endgame, that takes you up to the end of the Marvel saga, as far as I'm concerned. So just watch that, and you're fine.
Yeah. Jack says, "You're all alone in that." Hashtag cancel Craig. I appreciate you. Crazy D says, "Blabs, you'll be fine." Speaking of next week with Blabs Week, once again, it's gonna be great. Al came in, says, "Let's go, Blabs Week." Call of Duty lobbies and hard R's all week. Oh no. Seth says, "I also obsess over RE a little too much. I resonate with Drinker. Cheers." Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
And Mintrex came in. This is actually breaking news. Says it looks like Warner Brothers is shutting down Rooster Teeth. I'm shocked it took this long. Drinker,
really?
do you know Rooster Teeth?
Yeah, it's yours. That's your baby, isn't it?
Well, okay, Rooster Teeth. I started Screw Attack, and Screw Attack was acquired by a company called what the fuck were they called? What was it? Full Screen. Full Screen bought my company, and then Full Screen bought Rooster Teeth. And,
that was it.
Yeah, and then they merged, like they brought us together, right? And they said work together, and they had no idea who I was. They had no idea who my audience was, and it was like a horrible 3 years of my life, right? So yes, apparently they're shutting down Rooster Teeth. I'll tell you, I'll do a standalone video on that later today because I got a lot of thoughts on that. And the TLDR, what took you so fucking long? That's the TLDR because this has been a long time coming for sure. Drinker, before we get into all the stuff, I actually want to ask you about your movie that's coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Tell
can ask.
me about Rogue Elements, man. I want to know about this because I saw you drop the trailer and it looks like it's doing pretty damn well.
It is indeed. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. So yeah, for people who don't know, I'm also an author when I'm not pretending to talk about movies on YouTube. And so I'd written like this whole series of 9 books plus a couple of novellas called the Ryan Drake series, like named after the main character. And once, I made it on YouTube a little bit, I got contacted by an independent film director who said, "Look, I'm a big fan of your channel and I've also read your books and I really like them. I think we could do something with this. Maybe start off by making a short film and then see what we do from there." So we tossed around some ideas. I looked at the work that he'd already made and I said, "Yeah, let's see if we can create something here." So we did a Kickstarter. Our goal was to reach $20,000. We ended up getting like $400,000, I think, which was nice. And so it evolved from just like a really small, short film into something a little bit bigger where we could actually get a proper film crew in and we could get proper actors and we could get good equipment and everything. And that's what we filmed last summer over in Canada. And it's been great fun. So it's almost ready to go now. I'm actually going to review the first rough cut of the film later on today. So looking forward to that. And it should be ready to release onto my YouTube channel in the next month or so.
Oh, so you're just going to release it for free?
Yeah, I just want people to have a chance to watch it. I'm not going to put it behind paywalls or anything like that. Like this was funded by just people, fans who wanted to pitch in and help out. And so as far as I'm concerned, they're the ones who deserve it, and they can watch it. That's
fucking great, man. I love it. I love everything about that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, okay. So, we saw this with the Chris, was it Stuckmann? The guy who cut a lot of heat a couple weeks ago about, he's like, "I'm not going to review Madam Web," right?
Yeah.
Do you, as a movie reviewer, now that you've kind of gone in and you're creating this film, are you like, I guess I've never met Stuckmann before, but I know he's kind of got into the movie thing. I would love to hear your take on that, the whole Chris Stuckmann thing, and like how he said, "I'm not going to review it because I know what it's like to make a movie in the Hollywood system and all that stuff." But you also are creating movies, and you also are reviewing movies. I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing.
I think Chris and I have slightly different philosophies when it comes to this kind of thing. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can absolutely still criticize things, even if you're making things at the same time. It really comes down to intent. Are you there to just make fun of things because it gives you pleasure, or are you, trying to give people constructive advice on how they could produce better movies? And I think there's a very definite divide on that one. And I don't think criticism necessarily has to be a negative thing. It's a useful tool in developing a person's skill as a filmmaker. And as other people have probably said, I think there's a very obvious agenda when Chris is doing this approach. And it's basically, I don't want to be mean about films now because when my film comes out, I don't want people to be mean to me. And it's just the nature of the game, man. Like when you're a person of any sort of profile on YouTube, you're going to get detractors and you're going to get people who criticize your work. That's just the nature of it. And you can either accept that or you can't. And so, yeah, I don't really think that this has played out the way Chris had expected. You know, I think if his goal is just to say, I'm going to celebrate film on my channel, then okay, fine. But you really need to sell the films that you're reviewing to us. You know, tell us why you're so passionate about these movies. Tell us what was so good about them. You can't just do a little 5-minute review where you just, give the most basic, low-effort take imaginable. You really need to tell us why you're so passionate about this. And that's where he's falling down, really. So just feels like a guy who's trying to have his cake and eat it, ultimately. I would much rather go down the road of being fair and honest about other people's movies. And if it means that I cop a bit of heat for mine, so be it. Like, you've got to be a big boy at some point and just accept these things. That's the nature of what we do.
So when he comes out and he's like, you know, I watched the free movie Rogue Elements on YouTube, and I got to be honest, and he gives like an 8-minute review. It's like super scathing. Can we expect a boxing match anytime soon between these two?
I don't imagine so, no. But I don't think he would want to negatively review my movie in any capacity, because then he would cop heat for that. And he's all about celebrating good films. So yeah, probably he just wouldn't even talk about it. Yeah, we don't have to settle it with a punch up or anything.
So you said the Rogue Elements is going to be releasing this summer.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's pretty much ready to go. Like I say, we've got a rough cut just about ready for me to review. We'll make some tweaks. We'll make some changes. You've got to do all the boring stuff like color grading it, working on all the sound effects and some of the VFX stuff. And then it's ready to go. So, you know, it's we've got some good people working on it, and they are pretty talented at what they do. So I'm happy to just let them get on with it.
If this goes well, could we potentially see more?
You could indeed, yes. We'll see if it leads to potentially a TV series or movies. You know, the door is open for all that stuff. And, you know, I think the books that I've written, they're pretty easily adaptable into like visual formats. So I'd love to see it happen. Hopefully it's well received. So we'll see what happens.
I'm sure it'll be well received. I'm sure it will be. It'll be great. All right, look, we got a lot to get to. So let's get into this stuff. It's time for, by the way, new intro today. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for hard news. What the hell?
Hard news.
Did that stop? Did the video stop working, or did it go? Or
yeah, it went. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely hard at this point. So let's do it.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you very much for your support. We'll get to every single little bit of support, including Seth Trollins with 20 gifted memberships to the channel. Seth, thank you so much. That is spectacular. That is awesome. I'm going to get you on the wall right now. Hey, Drinker, will you do me a favor? Look at that. Look at it right there. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Kratos, look at that right there. That's ridiculous.
Look how pretty the wall is.
Looking good today, huh?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's the wall is the Super Kratos 3000. That's what it's called. So, and
what was the original pending name, Craig?
What was the original pending name, Blabs?
No, I asked you first. Go on.
I don't remember.
Come on, now you know.
Let's go to our first story. Hey, Drinker, what do you think about remakes in Hollywood?
Oh, remakes. I made a whole video about remakes, actually. You know, I think remakes have become a substitute for actually having new creative ideas. So not a big fan. You know, they can be done well. It has happened, believe it or not. What did we have? We had Battlestar Galactica back in the day. That was a good remake. because they went a much more serious route for it, and it wasn't just like campy nonsense anymore. That was nice. But generally speaking, no, I would rather you just made new things.
So you're saying that a sequel from a movie from the late 90s, early 2000s in the year 2024 based around Lindsay Lohan is not original, I hear?
Oh, is Lindsay Lohan going to be the old person now?
These are all, that's actually a great question.
She has a kid now. Who knows?
I mean,
this
is what happens when actresses get to like their mid-40s or whatever. Like they don't, the career opportunities start to dry up a little bit. Yeah, I don't think anyone needed this. Don't do that.
Not exactly high on the list, but yeah, it's been 20 years since the first Freaky Friday, and apparently people are like this guy over here on Twitter is very happy, saying we won. It's like, congratulations. I didn't know there was a big campaign for Freaky Friday too, but apparently that was the case. So yeah, it's kind of where it's at there. Congratulations.
I love Freaky Friday. I don't want it at all.
It's not even a sequel. What we're talking. Oh, sorry, it's not a remake. This is a sequel to the original. So, on principle, I don't mind sequels, but I don't think this was something that anyone was crying out for.
What's the most egregious sequel you've seen that clearly never needed a sequel, but it came back later? Not even a reboot. It's just a hard sequel with a number 2 or a 3 at the end of it. I'm trying to
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
There it is. Yeah,
that never needed to happen, and I could have saved Disney $300 million if they just listened to me, and my feedback would have been, "Don't." That's it. Just don't.
This kind of mirrors the idea of the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff that's happening in the gaming space, where I feel like there should be a counter culture. There needs to be a counter version of Sweet Baby Inc. And that's literally their job, is to do exactly what you just said. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, put all this inclusion and diversity and everything into your videos, the job of that company would just be like, no, don't do that. And that's it.
Yeah, it's like you could hire someone like me and I will undo the work of Sweet Baby Inc.
Right,
my job will just be to say, no, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. Like no normal person is going to want that in their game.
No, not at all. We'll get to Sweet Baby in just a little bit. But some more breaking news today. I guess it's not really breaking news, but this is more make Blabs feel old news, as apparently the son from Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Which I did not watch Teletubbies growing up. Did you watch Teletubbies, Blabs?
No, it's creepy.
You didn't?
I thought that was a uniquely British thing. I didn't even know that Americans knew what Teletubbies were.
Mm-hmm. It was on TV all the time, and it was creepy. And my mom didn't like it. She thought it was incredibly stupid, so she wouldn't let me watch it. But yeah, the little baby son had a baby back in January. So if you guys are feeling really, really old, just remember that the son had a baby.
That is circle of life shit right there. Like what we're witnessing. If they ever do like another Teletubbies series, then that baby needs to be the son.
Aren't they doing something on Netflix though? I swear I heard about it, that they were doing some Teletubbies remake on Netflix. I'm gonna Google.
I think you're right. Here's the thing though. This is the Teletubbies baby here back in the day, right? And I think it's kind of weird to say her name is Jessica Smith, the actress who played the baby son in Teletubbies. Was she really an actress, or was she just a baby that sat there with a
baby,
you could argue about consent as well. Like, did the baby give its consent to be filmed like this? Because,
it's all logical questions.
But yeah, Netflix does have a Teletubbies. It came out in 2022. It's 1 season. I don't know if it's like the original thing or what. But no, yeah, the son's different. It's a black baby son. Yeah, okay.
What? Hold on, what? They race swap.
Yeah, let me just pull this up real fast. Hang on a second. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the sun. What is that?
Oh my god, it's like Dune 2 when you were on PD Prime. Oh Jesus.
They race swap the sun.
Yep.
How do you race swap the sun? That is spectacular. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, just absolutely brilliant.
That says Eclipse.
Great. God. All right. Let's go to some video game stuff here, which is great. But before we do, I can't believe this. Lance came in with the $99.99 super chat. It says, in honor of the critical drinker coming on, I request Blabs to sing 500 Miles by the Proclaimers in her best Scottish accent. Oh, that's
do it, Babs.
Now,
do it.
I have a terrible
Drinker.
Scottish accent, so this is going to be horrific. And you're never going to come on ever again.
Well, we do aim to offend people on a day-to-day basis, Blabs, which is great. But drinker, for every $100 direct donation or super chat, Blabs has to sing a song in a ridiculously patronizing accent. So she will be singing a great song too, 500 Miles by the Proclaimers in a Scottish accent. Blabs, you just let us know when you're ready, but do me a favor, Lance. Look at that. That is
I know the song, just the Scottish bit.
Thing is, I'm Scottish, right? You can't offend us. It's impossible.
You can't offend us. It's impossible. Haggis. Yes, I gotta think haggis.
Just say haggis.
Try say that's pure boggin like.
That's pure boggin like.
There you go. Perfect.
That's pure boggin like. I wake up. I'm just gonna do this now. I'm blowing myself up. Here we go.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Courtesy of Lance. This is 500 Miles by the Proclaimers in Blabs' best Scottish accent.
This pure boggin. Is that right? Pure boggin.
Pure boggin.
When I wake up, when I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you, haggis. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you, haggis.
Go, Blabs.
I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
See?
You really got, yeah. All those consonants have to be like real deep valleys that you go into with Scottish. Yeah.
So you're telling me, drinker, that after every sentence you don't end it with haggis, like Blabs did?
Funnily enough, no. That's all I've got for today, haggis. Go away, haggis.
His new video is something like, go away, haggis.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, $100 if you end a video like that. Go away now, haggis.
Thank you, Lance. You absolute fucking mad lad. You.
Oh, that's ridiculous. But hey, look at this. It's the sun showed up. This is me. That's good. 50 Shades of Grayson. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh man. All right, let's get into a little video game stuff. Now, look, I know over in across the ocean, we mentioned this before. You guys do not have Major League Baseball. But
we do not know. We don't understand this baseball that you speak of.
You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you run around the thing.
It goes on for a long time, isn't it? And if you take beer out of the equation, I think people would get quite bored of it.
It's not as long as cricket. Cricket lasts like days, and that's one thing Americans don't understand. Yeah. But there is Major League Baseball has a game called MLB The Show, and it's really, really popular. For those who like baseball, right? But they've added something this year in their attempt to virtue signal. They've added a way to inspire girls of all ages to eventually become Major League Baseball players, which has never happened before. So here we are. In the latest game, you can actually play as a woman playing Major League Baseball. I'd just like to reiterate, this has never happened before in baseball, will never happen before, because I'm just going to go out and say this, and people will get upset at me for this, but a woman will never throw a 98 mile an hour slider to strike somebody out. I'm just going to throw it, and they're never going to go yard and hit a home run 450 feet out of the field. So it's never going to happen. But hey, we all have our dreams, right?
I mean, hypothetically, is there any rule that says that they can, or is it just that they've never found a player that could compete realistically?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have from MLB.com an article actually highlighting the women who broke barriers in baseball. And on this, there are all sorts of things highlighted by the first woman in Major League Baseball to serve as a club's primary regular play-by-play voice. So that's the number one thing there, is somebody who calls the games and is a commentator. Then we have assistant general manager, first woman to, you know, blah, blah, like long and short of this goes on and on and on and on. But there's not a first woman to play Major League Baseball. So to answer your question, they could, but they can't, and they won't. So, but you can now in Major League Baseball, the show. So congratulations. I'll say this. As a daughter, as a dad with 2 daughters.
Well, as a little girl myself, you know?
I do identify occasionally. No. What the hell? What the hell, Blast? No, as the father of 2 daughters, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I gotta be honest. This is so stupid. All right, let's continue.
I just want to say that not even the graphics look that
Great.
great.
Let's go
like
on to the main event today, and that is
females don't actually look that nice. Like they're not very flattering females. So anyway, continue.
Yep.
Well, what do you want? You want like them running around with like mega jugs?
Well, whatever happened to butts and boobs? Okay.
Yeah, no. Can we have Sydney Sweeney be the character model, please?
Well, let's be honest here. Okay, female athletes have nice butts because they're always working out, like their legs and everything. So they have butts. Where are they? Justice for the butts, okay?
Hey, let's get that
trending. Make butts great again.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to tweet that out.
Hashtag justice for butts.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. Let's get it trending over on Twitter. Justice for butts. Make sure you reply to that. All right, let's go to our lead story today. And that is the continuing saga of Sweet Baby Inc. Now, Drinker, I know you did a very well-articulated video yesterday about this. I would just love to hear your high-level thoughts on everything with Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI and all that stuff in video games.
Well, gosh darn it. I mean, I'm hardly an expert in modern video games because, you know, if anyone's seen me play Tomb Raider recently, you'll know. But, yeah, the general idea seems to be that they have marketed themselves as a consultancy firm that will come into your game dev studio and they will advise you on how to make your game more DEI compliant, how to make it more appealing to women, how to make it more acceptable from minorities, and how to help your company get all of that sweet ESG money from BlackRock and whoever else. So that is lovely. And the problem is that what their input consists of is working in unlikable, annoying, overpowered female characters, insulting all of the legacy male characters that are in it, and usually supplanting them with a more diverse alternative, championing political causes that no gamer really cares about. They just want to have fun, escapist entertainment, and generally fucking up the game in every conceivable way possible. And the lovely people at the game dev studio who have been working on this for months or even years just have to sit back and let this stuff happen because they can't argue with the gods of DEI. So yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. is by no means the only company of this kind, and it's by no means the worst offender, I suspect, in the video game industry, but it's the one that's copped heat recently, and it's raised awareness of this issue. And that is 100% a good thing because games have been getting infected with this stuff in recent years. We've seen it. We've seen it in so many games. The only ones that are now avoiding it are the Japanese studios because they don't give a crap about any of this stuff. They are just into making good entertainment and they understand who their audience is. And I don't know, man, if you've seen those clips from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They know what their target audience is and what they like, and they're happy to give it to them. That is the fundamental rule of business. And Western games are going against that and doing the exact opposite. So it's interesting.
It's very. You said something that there's kind of an awakening happening. There's a discovery of this for the first time, and kind of Exhibit A. Let's go over to Memology over on X. They had one of those how it started, how it's going posts where they talked about. I've never had any interaction with the Ackman. I don't know who this person is. I guess they have a YouTube channel. Drinker, are you familiar with the Ackman?
I'm vaguely, yeah. I'm more because of his interactions with Az more than anything else because I don't really watch his stuff.
Right. So Az obviously had his infamous rant on Starfield. Fucking pronouns, current day. And
it was amazing. Nobody on YouTube can rant in quite the emotional, visceral way that Az can. He is beautiful to watch when he gets going.
You're right, man. It's visceral. Like, it's to the point to where you can like see the veins sticking out of his forehead because he's so fucking.
But he cares. That's the thing. He cares about this stuff. He's not doing it for clicks and attention when it comes to stuff like this. He genuinely cares about this stuff because he is more of a gamer than I have ever been and ever will be. And this stuff matters to him.
So after his pronoun rant, once again tweeted by Dan Bask back in the day, Ackman says, gorilla-shaped man on the verge of crime because Starfield lets you pick pronouns at the start of the game, and then it never brought up again. Someone please shoot this guy with a bear tranquilizer. He's going to attack someone. So this was like just 6 months ago, right? Just
before you move to the next one, because I know what's coming. But yeah, it's interesting that he said that because that's what prompted Az to team up with Eric July and do a live stream called what is it? The Silverback and Ripper, and like Az has probably made thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars from super chat donations and revenue from this. So well done, Ackman. You gave him the idea for all this stuff. So good stuff. Good going.
Embrace it, man. Brilliant. Really.
As thanks you, I'm sure.
Right. So he goes in and he's like, I don't understand. Oh, this guy's a gorilla-shaped man. And this was like yesterday or a couple days ago, whereas Ackman's like, he's starting to be awakened to what's happening with Sweet Baby Inc. Says, so I started looking into the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff, and I cannot fathom, game studios would hire a narrative consultant. Isn't that what lead writers are for? Why not just hire a better writing team and keep it in-house? And so they consult this firm to basically get a better social credit score in the hopes of getting more investors. I think I just swallowed my own vomit, right? So the awakening in a situation like this is kind of the most fascinating thing here, is that Sweet Baby Inc., we've been talking about this for a while, probably since November or so. We deserve zero credit for that because there's been a lot of people who've been talking about it a lot longer than we have. But to see kind of the awakening that you're seeing outside of this specific sphere is pretty fascinating. And I feel like this is just kind of the tip of the sword almost when it comes here. So.
Yeah. The one group of people that you absolutely do not want to fuck with is gamers, because those people are passionate about what they do and they have got a lot of time on their hands, and they will dedicate that to exposing your bullshit and unraveling it. And it's absolutely happened. In the case of Sweet Baby Inc., it was relatively easy. I mean, they were able to pull the information from Sweet Baby Inc.'s website and say, hey, just so you know, these are all of the other games that Sweet Baby Inc. has consulted on and has worked on. Notice a bit of a pattern here. Notice how they all turned out to be kind of trash, with a couple of notable exceptions. That's the kind of people that you don't want to mess with, and that's exactly what they've done. And now that they've been turned on to this, now that they're aware that this is something which is happening, they will not stop until this stuff has been purged from their industry. And rightly so, because they are the consumers. They are the people who deserve to be having their needs met. And if they're not, then, well, they're going to track down the people who are preventing that and hold them accountable. Nothing wrong with that.
So speaking of holding people accountable, as Short Fat Otaku says, the Sweet Baby Steam Group is approaching 200,000 followers at this point.
Yes, when it first started, it had about a few hundred, I think. Mm-hmm. Then Sweet Baby Inc., the people within that company tried to have it banned. They did everything in their power to have this shut down, even though it was literally just sharing publicly available information from Sweet Baby Inc.'s own website. And it was the Streisand effect. And now they're almost at 200,000. Who knows where it's going to end up? I hope it keeps going to 1 million at this point.
Well, so, I mean, this is like a cultural thing. And we had Kabrutus on, the founder of the group, the other day. And he's just a regular dude. He was inspired by another group on Steam to more or less, all he's doing is providing the information from the Sweet Baby Inc. website, right? And Kabrutus is on now. He's been thrust into this almost like influencer role here as his Steam Group has grown. And this has been a talk on Twitter, on YouTube, really pretty extensively over the last week or so. As this, like I said, there's a great awakening here. But I did a little research yesterday, and this still holds true today. I went in to look at every single quote unquote legacy outlet, Kotaku, Polygon, IGN, GameSpot. Not a single one of them has said anything about this yet. Not a single one.
I was going to, it's good that he didn't call them like mainstream or popular outlets, because Kotaku and Polygon haven't been popular in like a decade. They're just
legacy.
Yeah, legacy is the perfect name for them. Yeah,
right. And means old, right? They're old. They're old at this point. They're not relevant. Right.
Look, I'm not standing up here as some kind of paragon of this stuff either. It took me a long time to realize the implications of this. Like, I didn't even know what was going on, because I'm certainly not plugged into the gaming industry, and it wasn't until I started reading into it and understanding what Sweet Baby Inc. was and what they'd done that it really like connected for me, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it. But yeah, I'm very late to the game on this one.
Well, but that's the idea, though, is that now people like this is kind of a pushing off point for a lot of folks. And I mentioned Sweet Baby Inc. kind of being the tip of the spear, but they're not the only one, as you mentioned, Drinker. The idea that I saw this post earlier today as well, a list of the Sweet Baby-esque consultation companies that propagandize games. Obviously, Sweet Baby Inc. And I you see names like Black Girl Gamers. Could you imagine if there was a list called White Man Gamers or a company called White Man Gamers? Hit Detective.
I see Anita Sarkeesian there at like number 10.
Anita Sarkeesian / consulting right there. Gamma Space.
The thing is, and this is all fine, like naming these consultancy firms, because it's publicly available information, the games that they've worked on. There's nothing nefarious about naming that stuff. But the bigger problem is the fact that this is allowed to happen. There's a gaming industry that permits this stuff, and that will actively bring in companies like this to consult on their games. Why? What do you think that they're going to do that's going to improve your game? How are they going to add to the quality of your game? They're not. All they're going to do is force in more of this crap that nobody wants, that nobody appreciates, that normal gamers get put off by. Yeah, they've got a threshold for it, and they might tolerate a certain degree of it. Like, oh, this is an otherwise good game, but like that was a bit weird. But it gets to a certain point where they just rebel against you. And now that they're aware of it, they're going to rebel even harder, because they're going to be on the lookout for this stuff. And when they see it, they'll vote with their wallets, and they will mobilize other people to do the same thing. And as they should, because their industry doesn't deserve to be politicized like this. It doesn't deserve to have all this garbage inserted into it that adds nothing to the stories that you're trying to tell.
I think the thing that drives me most crazy about this is like, no, you're right. Everyone will tolerate it. And it's not about like, I don't care if there's a gay character in a game, right? What I care about is when you take like, there's this article, this is Gamer X, right? And Gamer X this is another one of those consulting and training groups. Number one, what gives them the authority to be a training group when it comes to story? Because they like penis, right? Or they like vagina, like because they're gay, because who they sleep with, that gives them the opportunity to be a consultant. But my biggest issue with all this is oftentimes I know a lot of gay people, and none of them walk around talking about how much they love being gay, or they love penis, or they love, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like they're a parody of themselves in these games. And I think that's the thing that drives me most crazy. They're like these over-sexualized versions of gay people, or lesbians, or whatever, and that's the crazy thing. He's like, they're at a certain point, we're past this tolerant phase, and that's kind of how we got here, being so open-minded and tolerant, and letting it happen. Yeah, it's cool until it's not, and we're at that point where okay, we're all there now.
I think the very nature of being a video game player, like a gamer, as we call it now, it's a young person's hobby, right? And it's something particularly for young men. And the thing that defines young men is their fuck you factor, right? They hate being told what to do. They hate being like told that they have to believe this or they have to respect that or they have to say this. That goes counter to everything that they stand for. And it was the same back when I was playing video games in the late 90s and the 2000s, right? And, you know, that was the mindset of people who do this. It's counterculture. And the moment you try to lecture people like that about social issues and political issues and things that they have to respect and things that they have to believe and people that they have to listen to, they're going to say, fuck you, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be entertained. I'm here to enjoy myself. Nothing else. Fuck off with this stuff. And as they should.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what you're seeing right now. But once again, you know, these legacy outlets, they're ignoring it. They're acting like it's not happening. And that's where the parallels between this and what happened 10 years ago with Gamergate. Like I got Drinker, were you around? Was Gamergate on your radar a decade ago? Do you remember that?
It passed me by, I'm afraid. I wasn't really active on YouTube at the time, so I had no idea that it was even a thing.
Well, and I've talked about this as well. Like I was very active on YouTube a decade ago, but I even and in the gaming space, but Gamergate, like it was just this thing that I heard about. I was so worried about what I was doing and what my company was doing at the time but the big thing is that there's a lot of similarities between what's happening now and what happened a decade ago with Gamergate, specifically, you know, going back to this idea of the legacy media not covering it. So there's a lot of conspiracy, you know, I say the term conspiracy, I use that lovingly. There's a lot of talk of the idea that these traditional media outlets, these legacy media outlets, these websites, these blogs are working together like they did a decade ago to more or less formulate a response to this and ultimately say, hey, you who are talking about that, hey, critical drinker, hey, side scrollers, hey, you know, go down the list of everybody talking about this right now. You're a racist and a bigot for talking about this. And
I mean, they can pursue that approach if they want. They've got two minor problems in that. One, no one gives a fuck what they think anymore because everyone knows that they're just absolute shills. And two, calling people racist or sexist or misogynist or whatever in 2024 is like a Scottish person saying, hey, it's a bit rainy today. You know, it's become just part of the vernacular to the point where it's not even worth commenting upon. And so they have overused all of this stuff to the point where, sorry, why is my phone going off? Yeah, they've overused all of this stuff to the point where it has no meaning anymore. You know, they have played all of the best cards that they can possibly play, and they have none left. And now no one cares. They have no power. They have no influence. They're done. That's why this is probably going to do as well as it will. It's why it's garnering as much attention as it has, because there's no counter argument. The legacy outlets that would normally push back against this are irrelevant. They're spent forces at this point.
We've talked about, you know, we can talk about this stuff all day long. And it's a question I've asked pretty much everybody all week. Like, outside of just talking about this, and raising awareness is one thing. Voting with your wallet is another thing. In 2 weeks, the Game Developers Conference is happening up in San Francisco. And I feel like I have this urge to go there. And more or less, like, they're not going to let me speak at this thing, but you know who will be speaking is Sweet Baby Inc., right? And they're going to have all these conferences while they're there, these sessions. I would love to stand outside and not protest, but raise awareness as these game developers are walking in and being like, you know, we don't want this shit, you know, and like kind of organize something out in front. You know, I feel like that's the best way to be seen and for them to see this. And naturally, I feel like that would be written about by Kotaku and Polygon. And look at these racists, and by doing that, or look at these bigots, or whatever it may be. But I feel like that would actually kind of send a message.
It would, but again, like when these people cover it, they're just going to do everything they can to destroy you. And the movement's already there. Like the backlash already exists now to this stuff, and people are aware of it as part of the conversation. It was that watershed moment, like when South Park made the Panderstone episode of South, all about Disney and stuff. They made that part of the public discourse about all of these issues in entertainment, and it's there now. And it's almost like the job is done. You don't need to do any more. Just let it run its course. And it's just sad that the gaming industry has become like this. Like, like I say, when I was doing this stuff 15 years ago or whatever, the attitude was so different. It was very much like, we'll do what we want. Like, it's unfettered art. It was artistic expression. It was creativity. It wasn't bound by all these puritanical like ideas of what's acceptable and what you have to do and who you have to uplift and respect and all that crap. They were able to just have fun with it. That's why it was so successful, because it appeals to that, particularly that younger demographic who are rebellious and who just do want to have fun, who want to stick it to anyone who tells them otherwise. That's what we're missing now. The game industry is trying to mature to the point where it's becoming boring.
What's interesting is you're right? The gaming industry, anybody with two eyes knows the gaming industry is filled with dudes, right? And that's the reality of it, is when you go to these events, you go to conventions, you see people talking about it online, but that's not what these consulting firms say. They say the complete opposite. Let's go look at that pup. Let's go.
Oh, it's getting close to his dinner time. So he's like, come on, what are you doing?
Shut up, Dad. But but that's not what they say. They say, listen, the white male gamer is not your audience. That used to be the audience. That's not the audience. But I think that's the one thing that you're seeing from the pushback, specifically with the Steam Group, is people being like, and even if they're not white or male, they're saying like, yo, like, we don't want any of this shit. And it's amazing.
And they must, they'll dig up all these statistics to say like, 48% of gamers are women. And then you think, okay, how did you get that? How did you get to those statistics? And it'd be like, they'll count things like someone who plays a mobile game like once a week or something. Like, that's not a fucking gamer. Right. Like, you need to redefine like what your understanding of a gamer is, because that ain't it. And I think if you account for all that stuff, it's going to be like 80-20 easily.
Yeah, I think it's the inverse, right? I think what you see is mobile games, moms playing Candy Crush or whatever. It's 80% women, 20% dudes, and then there's probably way more of them because mobile games are so acceptable, so easy. And then it's probably 80-20 or 90-10 dudes to female in like the core gaming space. Your console
exactly.
and PC.
And so those moms that play like Farm Simulator or Candy Crush or whatever, they are not going to care about Kill the Justice League or the latest Modern Warfare game or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or anything like that. That's not your audience. So, yeah, you cater to your audience rather than the one that you want it to be.
Ian came in and says, these consulting firms are never going to tell you everything is fine. They earn their keep by creating problems from thin air. It's all so artificial. Haggis.
Yeah, good point you made there, Ian. Haggis.
Retromeister says, morning strollers. I mentioned to WDW Pro that Sweet Baby Inc. is the serpent of gaming, who are continuing these divide and conquer tactics against men and women in culture, aka Gamergate 2.0. As far as ESG is involved, is SBI connected to BlackRock or not? There's been a lot of talk about that, and thank you so much for that ridiculous support, Retromeister. I'm going to get you on the wall in a second. And Drinker, we're going to let you get out here in a minute to go feed your pup.
They're starting to agitate. Like when they start moving around, you've got problems. Like they're hungry.
But I don't know if there's been a specific connection to them. I think that's something that I'm not a gaming journalist at all, but I am the #1 video game journalist on YouTube. With that said, I do think that there will be people that need to go and do a little digging on that. Thank you so much, Retromeister. Bush and Ryucat came in with 5 gifted memberships. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Bush and Ryucat. And Zed the Snarky came in with 10 gifted memberships. That's awesome. If you guys got gifted memberships, make sure you say, I thank you, and consider paying it forward. All right, Drinker, go feed your dogs, man. You've hung on with us for a long time. Hit some big stuff. I'm going to talk about this Rooster Teeth thing, but Drinker, we want to thank you for your time this morning, buddy. And I encourage everyone, obviously, look, you guys are smart. You guys all need to go subscribe to Drinker's channel. And one question that people had, I saw one more time, I want to give you the opportunity to reiterate this, was when is Rogue Elements coming?
That should be out in April. So we are just about ready. We've released the first trailer. There's a whole bunch of behind the scenes featurettes that I've released onto Patreon and for the Kickstarter people and everything. And yeah, the movie should be out in the next month or so. We're in the final stages now. It takes a while to edit a film like this together and color grade it and all that fun stuff, but it's pretty much there now. We're almost at the point.
How long do you think it'll be?
So we're into it's March now. So yeah, probably mid to late April, I should think.
I mean the actual length of the film.
Oh, right. Sorry. Probably 40 to 45 minutes.
Cool.
Based on what we shot. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
It's not a full on movie, but it's like the length of, say, a pilot for a TV show.
Awesome. That's great. Well, very convenient, huh? It may turn into a TV show down the line, huh?
Well, yeah. Stay tuned for more information on that.
All right. Hey, Drinker, thank you very much, buddy. I genuinely appreciate it. We'd love to have you back in the future. Go take care of those pups, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate you. And it was fun hanging with you guys. So I'm going to go away now, Haggis.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. All right. Once again, if you're new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join us Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We'd love for you guys to pop in. If you guys are, hopefully you guys stick around a little longer. I know Richard's a great dude, but we still got more to talk about. Lots more to talk about here. I want to dig into this Rooster Teeth stuff, but before we do, I want to say a Hyenafer came in with the $4.99. Says shame.
That says hyena, not Hyenafer.
Hyenafer. Yeah, Hyenafer.
You sound like you're saying Hyenafer. Anyway, whatever. I'm doing this. You sit down. You go away now, Haggis. All right. Shame. Ding, ding. Shame. Also, Dutch says hi, Drinker. Where are you going? Anyway, I like this one a lot. Yeah, go away now. Ironcaster says, Blobs is more cultured than Craig. Love the old site, Craig. I miss the shows like The Armory. You hear that? I'm more
Thanks,
cultured than
Ironcaster.
you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate that, man. Hey, maybe I'll be able to buy it back with today's news.
Vork says, Blabs, time to make Craig play PS2 Harry Potter games. I think his brain would melt. Let's see. Nissan says, has Drinker ever seen the 1987 film The Caller with Malcolm McDowell? Just checked it out, and it might be my new favorite, re-released on Blu-ray a few years ago. Well, sorry we didn't get to ask him that. Steiner, Craig hasn't seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm not even going to do a prodigious equation to show my renowned mathematical skill. Watch those movies! Yes.
Thanks, Steiner Math. Appreciate that.
Remdog, as an artist, the best critiques I receive are from other artists. Nathan says, Rogue Element, nice. The Mentrix, there's no more room in Hollywood. Remakes shall walk the earth. Let's see. Lewis, my favorite Resident Evil game will always be RE5 because it was my first entry in the franchise. I love how it had in-game unlockable models to gaze upon. Love Excellion, I think her name was. I never played it, so my bad if I said the wrong name.
Appreciate you.
Matt says, I used to be one of the biggest fans of Rooster Teeth. While it's sad to see them end, they stopped being a company people loved years ago. RIP.
We're going to get into that in just a second.
Graph Web for 2. For Pete's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Yeah. Hey, Craig, did you see the news Rooster Teeth shutting down? Says Jose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tiger King. Will you take on SE Rewrite and Retcon FF7 with remake trilogy and compilation? SE is with ESG for a long time. They butchered IPs even without SBI. Sorry we didn't get to ask him that. Lord J, can I get an all hail the mighty Silverback? Well, all hail the mighty Silverback. There you go. Dev comes in, says, breaking news as of 52 minutes ago, Rooster Teeth was shut down by Warner Brothers. Time to buy the Screw Attack IP, Craig. You can do it. Juggalo says, it's like what Frank Zappa said about the downfall of the music industry. Let the creatives be creative. And then Aiden says, hello, guys. I was frustrated at work early because work was hectic, but when I received the notification the critical drinker was a special guest in today's show, I am now very happy. Well, shout out. Thank you, Aiden Perez.
Let's go, Aiden. All right. Real quick. Shane over on Rumble says, you got next week, Blabs. Just play Call of Duty chat room videos and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Alman John says, Craig, you mentioned being happy to wake up and work for the first time in 10 years. What changed at Screw Attack that made you unhappy? It wasn't necessarily, well, I'll tell you, the change was Rooster Teeth. That was the change. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. Blake says, how did you get Groundkeeper Willie to come on the show? Thanks, Blake. And Shane came back, says, I can't wait to play as an empowering Asian lady in the show. Can't wait to play for the, okay, not even going to read it, Shane. It was a ridiculously fun comment. That was inappropriate. Dude says, a win for physical gaming is coming from Baldur's Gate 3. The Xbox version is coming on 4 discs because it would have been 50 megabytes short on 3. That's awesome. That's great. Okay, let's get into the news, man. Okay, here we are. This breaking news at the start of the show, coming from Variety, and this is my first time seeing it. Rooster Teeth is shutting down after 21 years. It's almost prophetic. I'm not going to say we all saw this coming, but we all saw this coming. I've been talking about this for probably 2.5 years now. The fact that they've lasted these last few years has been honestly shocking. The rebrand that they had several years ago to this logo was a Hail Mary. And here we are as they are now being put into the ground. Let's go read this article. Warner Brothers Discovery in talks to sell shows like Ruby, Red vs. Blue, and Genlock, and will shop the Rooster Teeth podcast network. All right, that's what I need to know. Rooster Teeth is biting the dust after more than 2 decades. Parent company Warner Brothers Discovery, after unsuccessful attempts to sell the unprofitable fandom. Oh, they've been trying to sell it for a long time. I want to buy Screw Attack back. I want to buy Screw Attack back. Listen to me. I want to give you money for the dead brand that you own.
Did you say something, Craig?
Yes. RT General Manager Jordan Levin announced the shutdown of Austin-based Rooster Teeth at an all-hands meeting Wednesday. In a memo distributed to staff, the closure of Rooster Teeth will result in layoffs of its approximately 150 full-time employees and will throw dozens of contractors and content creators out of work as well. It's with heavy heart that I announce that Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to the challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising pages. That's so much bullshit. Oh my God. It makes me want to throw up. All right. Our legacy is not just a collection of content, but a history of pixels burnt into our screen minds and hearts. Blah. Okay. This is such gobbledygook bullshit. This is them saying we couldn't figure out how to monetize. Here's the reality of the truth. It's easier now to make money on the internet than it's ever been in entirety. And Rooster Teeth is just bloated and gross and disgusting. And that is why it's shutting down. You need to be slim. You need to be nimble. It can't take 6 to 7 check marks to get anything done when you have an idea. I know this because I experienced it. You guys know I sold Screw Attack to Full Screen, then bought Rooster Teeth. They said play together, and playing together was like going to a playground and getting rocks pelted at you every single day. It was horrible. And every time we had an idea, every single time you had an idea, you had to go get a check mark before you could do it. And then you had to get another check mark before you could do it. And then another check mark before you do it. And by the time you get all the check marks, everything is done. It's stupid. It's old. You're 2 months later. Great example. Let me tell you, we did a Let's Play with the Let's Play group when they were at their peak. We did a Let's Play where we played this game called The Amazing Frog. And in that became like a meme. There was a meme where we named the frog in the game Dave Bacon. It took 6 months to get a t-shirt made for Dave Bacon. And you know who remembered Dave Bacon then? I didn't even remember Dave Bacon. And it was part of my brand. It took 6 fucking months. Why do you think that Rooster Teeth is shutting down? Because bullshit like that. It's ridiculous. Rooster Teeth Discovery is currently in talks to sell the rights to certain Rooster Teeth catalog content and intellectual properties, such as the popular anime style of Ruby, Red versus Blue, and Genlock. In addition, Warner Brothers Discovery is seeking to sell the Roost Podcast Network, which shows spanning gaming, true crime. Okay. Warner Brothers Discovery thanks Rooster Teeth's groundbreaking creators and partners and strong management team for their many years of success. Your passionate and loyal fans are a testament to your achievements. You had fans, and you lost them all. Sorry. Rooster Teeth celebrated its 20th birthday last year with the launch of new logos and a new tagline, Just Playing. The company had cultivated an ardent fan base and became an internet video destination years before the advent of YouTube. Oh my God. Its first viral video came in 2003, the debut of Red versus Blue, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Rooster Teeth acquired Rooster Teeth was acquired by Fullscreen, which was then bought by Otter Media. Disney closed the acquisition under Warner Media. They did the first thing. I was part of all of this thing, and I remember every little bit of this, man. Every little bit of this. Among the company's controversies, Rooster Teeth in 2022 issued an open apology for hateful and hurtful conduct towards employees over the years. We're sorry, bitches. Coming after a former staff member detailed her experiences. By the way, that's it was a guy when they worked there. Experiences of being harassed, underpaid, and marginalized at the company. Marginalized. Here is the memo. Here we are. Dear Rooster Teeth, since our founders created and uploaded their first video of the then called World Wide Web in 2003, Rooster Teeth has been a source of creativity, laughter, and lasting innovation in a wildly volatile media industry. We've read the headlines about industry-wide layoffs and closures, and you've heard me give my perspective and updates on the rapidly changing state of media and entertainment during each of our monthly all-hands meetings. Since inheriting ownership and control of Rooster Teeth from AT&T following its acquisition of Time Warner, Warner Brothers Discovery continues its investment in our company, content, and community. Now, however, it's with heavy heart that I announce that Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. Please note that Rooster Teeth, that the Roost team is not currently impacted by this action. The Roost Podcast Network will continue operating and fulfilling its obligations while Warner Brothers Discovery evaluates outside interest in acquiring this growing asset. In the coming days and weeks, we will have many questions to answer and the opportunity to work together to implement the best way to wind things down for us and our community. We're working through what comes next in real time and will be open, direct, and accessible as possible. Thank you all in advance for your patience and support of one another. Let's take a moment to celebrate the 21 years. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, sounds good. Okay. This is a long-ass message. They're getting there. All right. So the writing was on the wall with this a long time ago because they announced that they were not going to be doing RTX. RTX was their big event. At one time, one of the biggest events in the gaming industry, one of the biggest community events in the gaming industry. I'm tweeting this out right now. I want to buy Screw Attack. I want to buy Death Battle. I want to buy them both. And I will do a Kickstarter for this. I'm telling you this right now, or a Kickstarter or some sort of crowdfunding to where we own it. I want to buy it back. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a hold of somebody and I'm going to put it out publicly. I want to buy Screw Attack and Death Battle. All right. And we're going to own it. We are going to own this shit. And we're never going to sell it again. We're never going to sell it. And we're just going to have it available. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not rebooting it. I'm not going to reboot it. All I'm doing is just putting all the old content out. All of it. Right? Warts and all. Put it all out there in glorious 240p, 360p, 480p, 720p, and yes, even the 1080p bullshit, right? That's what I want. I want to buy it. I'm putting my stake in the ground right now. I've been saying it for fucking 2.5 years. I want to buy it back Now is the time. You're right. Now is the time, right? I'm not rebooting it. I'm not G4 in that shit. I'm not buying. I'm not. You have the new counterculture. We're here already. Side Scrollers is here. Geeks and Gamers is here. Critical Drinker is here. That's what Screw Attack was. Screw Attack was the counterculture. We're back. Side Scrollers is the counterculture. My entire career has been the counterculture to video games. I just want it to come home. Peter says, for the repurchase of Screw Attack Fund, we'll make a proper one here. We'll do a proper one. Short Fat Otaku says, more breaking news. 33 minutes ago, Kotaku published an article defending Sweet Baby. I DM'd Craig and Blabs the article on Twitter. Gamergig 2 happening, Labs. Okay, lads, we're going to check that out in just a minute. Evan says, Craig Man finally saw Chun-Li versus Vegas. So Lord of the Rings definitely has a chance. There you go, Evan. Great to see you, buddy. Noob says, why not buy Rooster Teeth along with Screw Attack? Because I'll tell you why. Because they want something like $50 million for it. I'm not kidding when I say that. They're going to wildly overvalue it. And nobody's going to want to buy it. That's why. It's just going to die. Com says, so this is why Death Battle was asking for YouTube memberships. Yes, the writing was on the wall. Yes. And I want to be really clear. I don't talk to anybody from Screw It. They all think that I'm some crazy idiot, right? They all hate me because I'm the same person I was when I knew them, right? I honestly feel sorry for them. I honestly feel bad for them. I want everybody who was fired from Rooster Teeth to land on their feet. That's what I want. Including all my old friends from Screw Attack. I want them all to land on their feet. And to be clear, every single one of them have an invite to come on the show to help promote whatever it is they have going on next. And you know what? I would love to work with some of them again, right? Maybe. I want them all to be successful. Every single one of them. And that's kind of where it's at. I just want to be really clear on that. I want them all to be successful. They don't want me to be successful, and that's fine. But guess what? We're going to fucking win, and we're going to be successful. We are successful. Guess what happened today? Guess what happened today? We had our highest viewership ever for a show. Ever. So fuck right off, all y'all haters. It's ridiculous. Lord J says, yo, anyone else remember during the Orange Man Bad era when Rooster Teeth told half its fans to F off? Well, guess what? We listened. Also, Mika Burton can pound sand. Right. Said this all along. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, Republican, Democrat, whatever. I don't care. I welcome you to this community. All I ask is that you have some fucking common sense. That's it. Lance says, donating to help the Screw Attack cause. Also, I was rewatching the old AVGN and realized you were in an episode, the Christmas Past Ghost. Yes, I was. It was like 16 years ago. Yes. Aiden says, Craig, if you're bringing back Screw Attack, I'll help you every step of the way. Count me in. Thanks, Aiden. Appreciate you, man. Peter says, would you consider doing a 24-hour fundraising stream? I don't know. I got to figure this out. Blippity Blue says, here's some dough just for your passion, Craig. You have 100% my support. Let's do this. Blippity Blue, thank you very much for your support. And we're going to do this. We're going to fucking do it. I'm going to put a tweet out here in just a minute. Blake says, I stopped caring about Screw Attack after they joined Rooster Teeth. Something felt off. Yeah, I wasn't there. Mr. Gruber says, Angry Craig is what I'm here for. I really hope you get Screw Attack back and start doing pizza and salsa eating contests again. Much love to the Side Scrollers team. Thanks, appreciate that. Joel says, Leon says, get Joel on the show. Would love it. Would love it. Would love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Would love to have Joel. Joel is one of the original founders of Rooster Teeth, and he was cast off. He was thrown out like a bag of moldy tangerines for his political leanings, which, all this stuff all this stuff that's happening with Sweet Baby, all this stuff that's going on, like Rooster Teeth is this is to make I want to be really, really clear. Not only was this an asinine way to run a business, they had Blabs, listen to me. Listen. They literally had an airplane hangar. That's their studio space was a giant airplane hangar for many years.
Wow.
That is not the way to run a business in 2024, in 2020, in 2019. So they've been on borrowed time for a long time, man. Long time. Captain YOLO says, may the force be with you, regaining Screw Attack. Well, listen, we're going to do it. Listen, we're going to find a way. We're going to fucking find a way. We're going to fucking find a way. Absolutely. Abdulio says, yes, the B scenarios were butchered. This is Abdulio. I'm sorry I didn't get to this when Drinker was on, but just know a thank you. I see both those donations and appreciate it. Mercenary says, okay, let's try this again. Yesterday on stream, I had tried to tell you about the coordinated misinformation that all the local news channels were doing, and that somebody did a compilation video of them and how creepy it was. The gamers are dead article equals Mockingbird. Yes, thank you, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Rare Bear came in, says Screw Attack particularly went the same way G4 did. The big difference is that Craig retained his appeal and integrity while Adam Cesspit went insane. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's very nice of you. And Upus came in, says time to bring Screw Attack back. Yes. Lieutenant Silver says, I would say RT died when Monty Ohm died. Monty Ohm was the driving force behind their biggest behind Ruby, and they tried, and they saw success, but Monty was ultimately the driving force of that. Shifty Eyed Ninja came in with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Shifty Eyed Ninja. Appreciate that. Sorry, I'm wound up, Blabs. I know you just kind of sat back and what's that?
No, I let you do your thing. You go, you yell at them, Dad. Get out there.
Thanks. All right, guess what? We may have another clip here, Blabs.
I know.
We got to react to this.
Yeah.
From Kotaku, thanks, Deb, for sending this over. We have our first response from Legacy Media. Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. No, one company isn't forcing diversity into all your favorite games. Here we are. All right. Here we are. By the way, great art.
That's a great photo.
We may just take this and move this in a future thumbnail. Let's go. All right. That's good stuff. Let's see let's do a little digging here. Before we even get into the article, let's find out who Alyssa Mercante is. I'm just curious. Let's see. Do they have pronouns in oh boy. Do they have pronouns in their bio? Pronouns in bio. Oh, here we are.
Look at Gina's banner. Wow.
Let's go. Pronouns in bio, ready to go right off the bat. Senior editor at Kotaku, bylines Jezebel.
Wait, puck slut? What is that? Go back up. What is that? What is a puck slut for NY? Was it New York Rangers? Is that what it means?
I guess
the hockey slut?
Maybe she's just a fan of.
Okay. That's a weird thing to say to you about yourself.
Yes, a puck slut. There you go.
I've never heard that before.
How dare Alyssa Mercante or whatever her name is? How dare her slut shame New York Rangers fans? I'm just saying, it's ridiculous. All right, we have a full. Okay, I was gonna say this is published 44 minutes ago. Okay, what bad actors think companies like Sweet Baby? Should we just read this whole thing? Because this is a long article. Read the whole thing.
This is a long one. Holy shit! Yeah. All right, we can go for it. You want me to read it?
We should. Yeah, you want to read it?
Yeah, give yourself a little break after you're yelling. Yeah, okay. Sweet Baby Inc. is not the largest narrative design company in the games industry, nor is it solely responsible for the characters and stories in recent high-profile releases like Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But good luck telling some gamers that. Late last month, one of the company's consultants discovered a Steam group dedicated to detecting games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on. The purpose? To encourage people to avoid these games because the group had deemed SBI was pushing a woke agenda by working towards greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Steam group now has more than 100,000 followers and its own Discord that boasts nearly 2,000 members. But this ire against Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI initiatives in general isn't new. In October 2023, Kiwi Farms Post shares similar sentiments, stating that the company's involvement in Remedy's award-winning 2023 action game Alan Wake 2 was possibly one of the biggest scandals in gaming history. Scroll. The conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. has ignited a fundamentally misinformed, Gamergate-esque firestorm. Its employees have faced rampant harassment as a direct result. Industry figures have had to deny allegations that SBI comes in and completely changes their games. I spoke with several employees of Sweet Baby Inc. to learn what the company actually does and how the misunderstanding of its role in the industry highlights a far broader problem. So they're basically saying that gamers are harassing SBI. They just said that in the paragraph, by the way. That's funny.
Well, and I want to be really clear. I'm inviting every single member of Sweet Baby Inc. on the show. If you want to be you're invited.
Mm-hmm.
If you work for Sweet Baby Inc., you are invited on this show to share your perspective, to tell us what you do. We can get it third party through Kotaku. I want to hear it from you. I don't care what this person's saying, right? I care what you say. You have an open invite to come on the show. We will stop whatever we're doing, and you're invited. But you have to come in with good faith discussion. Continue, Blabs.
All right. The game industry. Oh, didn't we just read this word by accident? Did you scroll up, or was that the just title again?
I scrolled down. You're good.
Okay. The game industry's had its fair share of struggles lately, from massive layoffs to wildly expensive games like Suicide Squad falling short of expectations. According to the latest members of the Sweet Baby Inc. Discord, the company is directly responsible for those failures, not the studios that employed them in the first place, because of the content Sweet Baby allegedly forces into the games.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, they kind of have a point. It is the company's failures for employing SBI too.
Sure. But at the end of the day,
about that.
Yeah, no, look, that's fair. That is fair, right? But at the end of the day, Sweet Baby Inc. is going to do what Sweet Baby does.
Mm-hmm. They were hired to do that with the purpose. So funny. Anyway, even games that are widely considered to be successes are not safe from these conspiracy theories. Alan Wake 2 game director Kyle Rowley took to X, formerly Twitter, on March 3rd to dispel rumors that Sweet Baby was the reason protagonist Saga Anderson was black, a rumor first traced back to the aforementioned October 2023 Kiwi Farms post. It's absolutely not true, Rowley wrote, but Rowley's concise statement and similar ones made by other industry members have not silenced the conspiracy theorists. On March 5th, I managed to spend an hour or so in Sweet Baby Inc. detected Discord before I was booted from the space, likely because I identified myself as a Kotaku journalist. In it, members shared posts referencing Feminist Frequency founder Anita Scarcesian, Marcus Aurelius quotes, and pictures of idealized female bodies in games. I'm going to need you to scroll some more. All right. One image showed several pictures in the protagonist Eve from Korean developer Shift's upcoming action game Stellar Blade, just episodes against female characters from Overwatch, Forspoken, and Life is Strange. Embrace tradition, reject modernity is emblazoned on the collage.
Yep.
Almost 2K members. There are already a bunch of infiltrated people who are screenshotting everything. Sadly, so just keep it cool, brothers. We can't let this server on Steam group get taken down. That's all I ask. Keep it cool. Read a post from March 4th, which was shared again on March 5th. Several people in the Discord expressed concerns about glowies, a term coined by members of the far right for those suspected of being federal law enforcement officials or the informants attempting to infiltrate their online spaces and set them up for legal consequences. I've never heard this term glowy before.
I've never heard that either.
That is weird. That's a weird name, too.
Congratulations. You're not a member of the far right then, apparently, which is good.
I didn't know I was anyway, so that's cool. Two members that spoke with me via Discord DM shared similar sentiments about why they believe the Steam page and subsequent Discord are important, so they can identify games that they were developed with support with Sweet Baby Inc. and make an informed decision when purchasing them. Sweet Baby Inc. is a symptom of other ideological worldviews I believe have taken hold of the Western world, media, and gaming as a whole, a 31-year-old member of the Discord told me. He also insisted, without providing evidence, that Sweet Baby Inc. adds race and identity group quotas to everything they're involved with. I mean, you really just have to take pictures of the characters in the games, and then there's your evidence.
What right? Evidence do you want? Go to the Sweet Baby Inc. website. Go to the website. That's literally what their job is. Literally what their job is.
Yeah. Anyway, though these kinds of social media posts argue that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. somehow force game studios to include diverse characters and storylines, the reality is vastly different. Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative design company, meaning most of its work is focused on writing stories and dialogue. They are not a DEI consultancy firm. Isn't that what it says in their website? I swear it says their consultancy firm. That means that they ensure games' plots point make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and that characters speak and behave in consistent ways. Narrative designers might also provide a final round of polish, like a Hollywood script doctor, for example. The team worked on Suicide Squad long after the story was written, and even then they joined just to write in-game ads, audio logos, and NPC barks, CEO Kim Blair tells me over video call. She continues. Sweet Baby Inc. at its core is a narrative development company. That means anything from script writing to narrative design to narrative direction to story reviews. One of the things that we do is offer cultural consultations or authenticity consultations. For us, that generally means that we might be asked to look at a story if there's a character in it who's marginalized in a certain way. And the studio...
Wait. Hold on. What the fuck does that mean? What is that? We offer is it... One of the things that we do is offer is cultural consultations or authenticity consultations.
Yeah, are they like experts on everybody's culture? Like, are they historians? Is that what they're trying to say?
Right. Like, I'm sorry.
Are you all about like what's going on in like Africa or something? I don't understand. Anyway, whatever. Let's see. For us, that generally means that we might be asked to look at a story if there's a character in it who's marginalized in a certain way, and the studio wants us to connect them with a consultant who can bring a little authenticity. But the perspective is never that we're coming in and injecting diversity. For the most part, it's the reverse. It's a company that has created a character, and they want to make that character more representative and more interesting. Sweet Baby co-founder David Bedard adds that, contrary to popular belief, the people making these games want to make the experience better for all players, and that more diversity and representation is a byproduct of that. Detractors would rather believe that there's a shadowy cable of people forcing them to that stuff in. They would rather believe a make-believe fairy tale than accept that. Making something more representative and more joyful for a marginalized person in a video game is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't make anything worse for the male character in the game, for the white character in the game. The assumption that team members at Sweet Baby Inc. or any marginalized person
Hold on. He's not wrong. It doesn't make anything worse for the male character in the game. It doesn't make anything worse for the white character in the game. What it does is it ostracizes the player of the game. That's what it does. It has nothing to do with the in-game stuff. It has everything to do with the people playing the game. Like, what a fucking tone. Like, this guy is so fucking tone deaf. I'm sorry. Continue.
All right. The assumption that team members at Sweet Baby Inc. or any marginalized person for that matter can only offer up content that is based on their identity is incredibly frustrating for the team and for marginalized industry members at large. People can't imagine that we might do anything else but DEI, Belair says. They can't imagine that we're just talented writers, that we're talented narrative designers, and that people are hiring us because we tell good stories, because we collaborate well, and because we write video games. They have to diminish our accomplishments to our identities. They can't imagine that the work I did on Spider-Man was story work versus adding pride flags, you know? Huh.
Okay. Sure, I guess. No. Because here's the thing, right? Like, if you were truly a talented writer, then your other games wouldn't have failed so miserably. If you were so good at writing, then your other games wouldn't have flopped. Yes, bring up Spider-Man 2, one of the biggest IPs in history that you were lucky enough to work on. Every other game that doesn't have Spider-Man associated with it, that doesn't have a built-in audience, flopped.
Yeah. I just think also someone said in the chat before, the chat's going crazy right now, but in that paragraph that we just read, they were saying, oh, we're talented. And the person in the chat said, if talented authors don't say that they're talented, they're very modest, which is true because they're just like, my work will show for itself. I don't need to brag kind of deal, you know? So.
Yes.
Anyway, despite the intensity of the backlash of the past few weeks, it's business as usual for Sweet Baby Inc. The companies they work with that haven't been scared off, they're actually offered advice and best practices for how to move forward. Practices they have developed after facing harassment of their own, Belair tells me. With that kind of support in the corner and a shared love for writing good stories, the team at Sweet Baby Inc. is determined to forge on and keep working on a litany of games, both announced and under wraps.
So good luck with that, because here's the thing. With something as simple as a Steam group, where literally almost 200,000 people have joined. That's 200,000 people that will have no interest in buying the game simply because you are associated with it. Once again, taking the phrase from Yellow Flash, the sweet baby kiss of death. Congratulations.
You know, something I noticed in this article, way back in the beginning, it said that Steam Group has 100,000, but it's over 200,000 now, right? And this was yesterday.
Yeah, they should have updated it.
Yeah, they should have updated it, and they're trying to minimize how many people are actually in this group to make it a nothing burger. Anyway, we are a narrative company. That primarily is our work. We are not censors. We have no interest in false diversity or in tokenization. We have an interest in making stories better and making characters more interesting and in developing a stronger language around narrative design. Those are the things that we are really passionate about, Belair says towards the end of our conversation. If you're going to come for my work, you can do that. If someone says I write a story and you say it's not good, that's totally fine. But if you're going to come for me, at least come correct. Don't be loud and wrong.
Oh, nice. Okay. Once again, she and everybody man, I would love to do the roundtable on this. I would love to get a Sweet Baby Inc. roundtable to where we have Sweet Baby Inc. employees and we have Sweet Baby Inc. Not the word detractor, but critics on here, including Cabrutus. We need to get Cabrutus on as well.
You're about to say we need him back.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Cabrutus would come right back, but I would love to make that happen. But here's the problem. They would never do it.
Didn't we reach out to them once? I believe, didn't one of us email them saying, hey, come on? Yeah.
Yes, I emailed them 3-4 months ago when we first talked about this. As pointed out, $13 million of potential loss per title. That's the 200,000 users right there. So, yikes. Looks like we're almost done here. Here we go.
Yeah. After chatting with Sweet Baby Inc., I returned to my Discord DM with one of the members of the group rallying against them. With the help of Belair's own words, I explained that what SBI actually does, its core focus on narrative work, and how DEI is only a small part of their remit, I should say. He wouldn't budge. With all due respect, it really just seems like the same thing to me, but just a bit more hands-on in the writing process. The end goal is to insert DEI-type stuff into the project they are working on. Sweet Baby Inc. and other industry leaders suggest that this dogged insistence on believing one company is forcibly injecting diversity into games is a side effect of a widespread misunderstanding of how games are actually made. Until the industry is more willing to openly discuss development processes, the lack of transparency will continue to be used as a straw man for bad faith arguments that characterize DEI as an imposition by nefarious, unseen forces, rather than an effort to cultivate a more accurate reflection of the world around us. So I have to say, sure, they can say that, Sweet Baby Inc. isn't the only ones who are doing all this narrative bullshit and self-insert. This is also to do with the developers and people working within the games. Yeah, you can totally say that. But none of the developers are going to admit that they're doing it because they want to save their own skin. So they're just going to keep throwing SBI under the bus and be like, yeah, this is totally them, only them eventually, maybe if that does happen. But they're never going to admit to saying, oh, yeah, we actually want this in our games too. So SBI is going to take all the heat for this, even though it's more than just them, in my opinion.
So let's go to this Alyssa's Twitter page just to kind of see. I honestly, I couldn't really hear her on the article over her pronouns, so sorry, I had a hard time. But you can kind of see here. I spoke with the team at Sweet Baby Inc. and infiltrated the Discord group, rallying against them to try and paint a clearer picture of what the fuck is going on. Here are some Discord screen grabs that didn't make it into the piece, but it's more of exactly what you'd expect. Here we are. This is right. Here we are. Yeah. Okay. By the way, is this supposed to be us right here?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let's go continue down. Life comes at you fast. Okay, I don't know who Alex Hutchinson is, but there we go. I'm sure this is going to go very well for them. Yeah, it's going very well for them for sure. Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what gamers think it does, and already flash in there ready to go. Look, this is going to go about as bad as they think it's going to go, and this once again is the covering effort. You want to do some video game journalism, Kotaku? Fine. Let's do some video game journalism. Let's go. Once again, the open invite to all Sweet Baby Inc. employees and detractors to come on for a giant roundtable here on Side Scrollers. To make it better, we will not monetize that show at all. With people saying it's just a grift, we will not monetize it at all. And we will have an open discussion. Because just to hear all sides of the argument. Does that sound? I think that sounds more than fair. More than fair. So.
And they can, if they really want to, they can put it on their own YouTube channel. If Sweet Baby Inc. has their own YouTube. That way, you know what? Fine. You don't want to. We're not going to monetize a grift off of it whatsoever. You want to put it on yours, and we can all talk it there. But it can't be cut or edited or anything. Live. Nope.
The whole thing has to be seen. Whole thing. There'll be no slicing and dicing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Blake came in with the $2. Yes,
before we keep going, I was told to look at the comments of the article. A bunch of whiny milk babies. And then there was someone who was like, even if it were pushing a woke agenda, I'd be fine with that. We have enough machism, jingoism, chauvinism, and racism in our game. So basically, I guess people who read Kotaku are a bit brainwashed. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, what are you doing? And by the way, here's the thing, right? Most of the responses to that, you really only have 4 comments and then people responding to it. That's really what it is, so it is what it is. But as Static Blue points out, right? Kotaku, you will be like Rooster Teeth. Mark my words. Static Blue is 100% right. Kotaku is next. It's true. And that's the reality of it. Blake says, you're sending out an SOS, save our station. That's right. By the way, my tweet is out right now. I did tweet out, and I would appreciate it if everybody would go and retweet this as well. Here's my tweet out on the X's with Rooster Teeth officially dying today. I want to buy back Screw Attack and Death Battle. Hey, Warner Brothers Discovery, let's make it happen. So if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor. Jay wants to get in it as well. Let's go. Everybody wants to do it. This is a thing. I'm going to make some phone calls today, and I'm going to see if I can actually make this happen. For real. Legit. Noob Nut came in and said, look at Star Citizen. It raised over $50 million and it's still in development. Hell. Yes, YouTube censors made me edit hell. Sorry about that, Noob Nut. Winterfell came in and says, your passion is why we will follow you. Won't we, Blabs? Thanks, Winterfell. Victor came in as a brand new member. Thanks, Victor. Appreciate that greatly. Spy721 says, them kicking Joel for his political beliefs was the final straw for me. They got my money for way too long because I had hope. Spy, you were not the only one fooled, man. Almond John says Rooster Teeth also fired Vic Mignogna from Ruby without evidence during the 2019 scandal when all of VA's all the voice actors colluded against him. Yep, it's a club and you're not in it. The Worthy One says, I got your back, fam. Get Screw Attack back. Thanks, Worthy One. Appreciate that. John Kanji says, bring back the French and German show. What a deep cut. Oh, my God. That's a deep cut. That's 6 months into Screw Attack, maybe even sooner than that. Sal Omega, Alan Woke 2, didn't even make a profit. Thanks, Sal. Appreciate it. Retro Jim came in and says, very glad to see so many of these things changing. Giant Bomb hosted Brianna Wu and killed their community at the dawn of this mess. Thanks, Retro Jim. Appreciate that. Snake Master says, I recommend checking Worth It or Woke for the Alan Wake 2 review. It has several bullet points for the woke elements. Thanks, Snake Master. Appreciate that. JM says, I think Glowy comes from Terry A. Davis, deceased creator of Temple OS. He suffered from schizophrenia and believes CIA agents glowed in the dark. That's interesting. Hayden came in with the $20 direct donation, the $20 super chat. Says Glowy's like the letters on their jackets. You know how the FBI gets in with the mentally ill people, convince them to commit crimes allegedly, and then get the line, was known to the agency. It's that, but cultists too. Okay. All right. Thanks, Hayden. Appreciate it. Max came in and says, I like fired up Craig. Have my shekels in my axe. Thanks, Max. Appreciate it. Hayden came back, says, the article wasn't meant for us. The article was meant for people like Hackman who are just starting to notice. It's damage control and cultist dribble. We've all seen the truth of what's happening. Now, the reality is it's going to be very interesting to see, will people also, will Destructoid, will Polygon, Will all these other places create articles similar to this in the next next couple days or so? Did they learn from their mass organization 10 years ago? Spartacus' article, Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't force anyone to do anything. They just consult and suggest SBI founder in a video. They'll suggest SBI in a video. If they don't do it as we should have a coffee chat with them and scare them. That's right. You're right. We talked about that yesterday. The nonsense associated with that. Thanks, Spartacus, for sure. We don't force anybody to do anything, but have a coffee with their marketing team and scare the shit out of them. Threaten them for sure. Hayden says, that commie pic was from the Discord and is making fun of SBI people. That person posted it to, quote, expose what the SBI detected group thinks of SBI. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Hayden. Appreciate that. TechnoGeef says, Craig, I'm sorry to bring this up, but if it wasn't mentioned already, but you might actually have a chance to buy back Screw Attack. WB just announced they're shutting down Rooster Teeth. Dead serious. TechnoGeek. I want to buy it back. The tweet is out. Help me get out there. Gritting Tiki says we should start a GoFundMe and buy Kotaku / Rooster Teeth. Let's go. We're gonna buy them all. Let's go. I love it. All right, Mercenaries came in with the one says, tell me when the Kickstarter or whatever donation drive starts, when and where. I will give you what I can. I want the old school stuff back, and I'm going to take it back from those woke wankers. Thanks, Mercenary. Appreciate it. That's the idea. Brian says the parent company Gawker Media is a joke. Look at the Hulk Hogan issue and Deadspin child lawsuit, etc. Oh yeah, 1,000%. That's just they're next. All right, I got some work I got to do. I got to go get a hold of somebody so I can buy this fucking company back. All right, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna do this. We're gonna buy Screw Attack back. It will. I'm telling you right now, I will not reboot it. I will not. But what I will do is I'm going to make everything available to you when, not if, but when. And if somebody else buys it, fuck them. This is ours. This is ours to take back. All right. But it's going to come down to dollars and cents. That's really what it's going to come down to. So I'm going to figure out how much it's going to cost. I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to ask for a penny more. We're going to buy it. We're going to put it out there. It's going to be great. All right. Dicker on Brown says, just bring the archive back. That's right. That's right. Brian came in and says, the parent company Gawker Media is a joke. Yeah, that's right. They very much. We appreciate that. Mocktax says, Craig is going to buy it all. That's right. We're going to do it. Crazy T says, you got it, Craig. We ride it, Dawn. So Crazy T. And Retromeister says, hey, Craig, can you use my last super chat to get Screw Attack back? Kotaku, whatever, aren't game journalists anymore. They're activists. Yet it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Need I say more? Retromeister, yes. If and when the opportunity comes, we're going to do it. So, all right. It's time to go. Fire it up, Labs.
I know. I see. I mean, we can't really tell because you got the shades on, so we don't know if you have the crazy eyes or not. But yeah.
Oh, the crazy eyes are on. They're on.
Oh, good. Keep them on then.
Keep them on. All right. We're doing this, guys.
We're doing it live.
We are. We're going to do this live. Absolutely. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. You're on your way out. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Come back tomorrow when we're back at it again. Who do we have tomorrow, Blabs?
We have Jeff from World Class Bullshitters, and we also have Melee Games coming back on to talk about their little tiffle-taffle with gaming developers.
That's right. All right. The window is open, guys. We're going to go make this happen. Guys, follow me over on X to keep updated with the with all the Screw Attack stuff. Will anything happen come from it? I don't know, but I'm going to do my best, damn it. I promise you that. Do we have any memes today, Blabs?
Yes. Let me just do it really quick. There was only a few of them. Okay. So the first one is, I'm in the big leagues now, Craig. What do you have to say about that? I don't care, Blabs. I got Screw Attack back, so thanks for that. There's some clips right from it. Let's see. We have a Critical Drinker as a football player. Maybe it's rugby. I'm not sure. Look at that. I'm guessing this is basketball.
That's right.
Yeah, look, I'm learning sports.
That is indeed basketball.
I don't know what this. Oh yeah, we won't play that live, but yeah, you guys can check out our Twitter for all the other videos.
All right, it's time to get out of here, guys. I want you guys to have a great rest of your day. Blabs and I are going to talk for about 3 minutes, and I got some phone calls to make. You guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate all the support today. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We're going to make this happen, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Fatality!